Yeah. Before explaining you the course, I want to make sure you all can see the screen and hear me. If you have any audio issues or the screen share part, please check from your end. Once we get started, I don't want to have any obstacles for you. So, yeah, coming to the course, the agenda of this course is it would be a complete hands-on training covering real scenarios so that you can clear your interviews and work on the projects independently. That's a main agenda of this course, right? And today it's a DevOps overview, like a kind of intro showing you what is what, like what is DevOps, why DevOps and all. As we progress, like from tomorrow on, we will get into each topic with a hands-on. Every day it would be a hands-on, and I would request and you to plan the things in such a way that you need to do the hands-on on regular basis. Spend some time every day. So that's how we can proceed. And throughout this course, I'm not expecting any prerequisites from you. Like anyone can take up this course. You might be a completely beginner, you might be an experienced person in IT, you might be working with certain tools. Still, this course will be helpful for everyone because this is designed in such a way that every topic will be covered from the basics till advanced concept so that everyone will be beneficial through this course, right? We'll be covering all the advanced concepts, whichever needed for the DevOps projects, whichever needed for you in real practice. So you don't need to have any mm, prior experience or else prior skills kind of before this course because everything will be started from the basics. Assume you are just learning a new subject. We need your open mind, your dedication, your time and effort to learn this course. That's all. And I'm here to help you achieve your goals. So that's a brief about this. Today we'll be talking about why we should learn this, who should learn it, who are eligible to take up this course. And then we'll be talking about the course content as well. I'll walk you through the course content and the topics in more detail as we progress. So I think we can begin. Can we get started? Am I clear and audible for all of you? Good to go?
Yes.
And whenever you have a question, you can unmute and speak up, or else you can put your question in the chat window also. The sessions are to be interactive, but please put the questions to the context. Anything out of the context, definitely I'll help you with towards the end, right? But stick to the topic. Otherwise, we may get deviated from the actual flow. And anything out of the topic, definitely at the end of the at the end of the class.
Yeah,
All right.
and Preeti, before starting, if there are any doubts are there outside this class, how can we contact you?
See, outside the topic, if you have, at the end of the class, I'll be available. Okay, few minutes will be there open for any queries. Then you can put all of your queries. Okay. And even after the class, if you have, you can also reach out to me. You can call me. I'll share you the
Yeah,
contacts. Okay.
yeah, thank you.
All right, then. So let's begin with the DevOps overview. Like, what is DevOps? Today, we'll be having a big picture of DevOps, roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, DevOps delivery pipeline, DevOps tools and skills. Right? These are the things we'll be getting an overview on. Some of you might be aware of these things, some of you might be working on it, but let's say there's a kind of refresher for them, and this would be helpful for everyone else who are new. Even you have worked on them, let's see, maybe this can help you in some way or the other, right? So let's begin. um, I'm sharing a blank screen. Can you all see the black screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So now let's talk about what is DevOps. By seeing this term, we can understand it's a combination of two teams called Dev and Ops. I believe majority of you know what is a dev team and what is an ops team, right? Let me just give you a brief. Developers are nothing but programmers,
Yes.
right? Who write the program, who work on the code, right? The programmers, developers, whoever, whatever you call them, they work on the code, they develop the code, they write the code, they build the code, right? They check whether the code is meeting the expectations of the client or not. And ops team is the one who will take care of infrastructure. What is meant by infrastructure management? Who will take care of, let's say, the servers, services running on the servers, networks, access, logins, all of this. Let's say in short, infra management would be taken care by ops team. And here developers are the ones who are working for designing the application, building the application, and so on. Okay, of course, let's say there would be also another team called QA, testing team, who will test the code developed by developers. They will generate the reports. If any bugs, they will send back. Means they'll basically do quality check on the application. Right? This is how we have, see, for developing an application, or else if you are using an application as an end user, means definitely there were so many teams working at the back end. Do you agree with it? Let's say you are using some product, you are using some application. There are definitely many people working at the back end. And here I'm talking about three main teams out of them, which is a development team, QA team, and ops team, right? Take any application, let's say a shopping application like Amazon.com, or else any social networking application. So there are many teams who work at the backend, and I'm talking about these three main teams. So developers write the code, testers would test that, any bugs they would again send it to developers, they'll fix it, they'll see the application history. And for developers and testers to perform their task, definitely they need some changes to the infra, right? Maybe they need some new operating system, or else they may need some service, some services may be down. So whatever they have, they need regarding the operating system, they would request the ops teams. And ops teams would serve the request of dev team and QA team. During this process of serving the request, ops teams would do a lot of checks. Like if this change is done, is the infra still going to be stable? Any networks going to be disconnected? Any logins going to be affected? Any permission? So they would do a lot of checks before they serve this request. Correct? They'll make a lot of checks. So they'll do a lot of checks before they serve the request to dev team and QA team. Meanwhile, developers are still waiting for the change they need, right? Developers are still waiting for the changes they need. And here, developers think that ops teams are taking too much time to serve the request. And here, ops teams, they think that developers are asking always something which they are not sure of. Because this is because the ops teams always look for stability in the infrastructure. What changes, whatever changes may happen, they need the infra to be stable and available. Developers always need agility in the infrastructure, means changes to test their code or else to build something. They always need some changes. But this is what happens. Developers think that ops team is taking too much time. Ops teams are not sure why they are requesting these changes. Right? There is some gap between the teams. It's because see here, when I say two teams, I'm including QA also. Okay, let's say I'm clubbing this QA also under development. So there is always gap between the two teams, because this gap arises because their skill set, their core competencies are different. Means the skill set of developers is totally different from infra people or ops teams, right? Their areas of expertise are different, their core competencies are different, their understanding is different. So developers don't understand why ops teams is taking so much time. Ops team doesn't understand why developers or QA need these changes. So there arises some gap between them because there is no proper collaboration, no proper understanding because of this differences in their skill set, differences in their understanding. So that's one of the reason why DevOps came in. So I'm talking about initially why DevOps came in. Whenever you are learning something, you should understand why, what is the reason, right? Why it came in, what is it actually, and how to implement it. These three are the questions we'll be working on throughout the course. Today, we'll be trying to answer these two things, like why DevOps came in and what is DevOps. From tomorrow onward, with hands-on, we'll see how it is going to be implemented, right? So now I'm talking about why DevOps came in. Yes, that is because to eliminate the gap between the teams. That's one of the reasons. Is that the only reason? Definitely no, that's one of the reasons why DevOps came in. What is the other reason? Right? What are the other reasons? Is it just because of the gap? What are the other reasons? Anyone? Why DevOps came in? One is, like I said, it should eliminate the gap between the teams. Then,
Automation.
okay. Before talking about automation, let me talk about something. See,
Smooth deployments.
Yeah, yes. See, earlier, the way the application is handed over, let's say once application is ready from developers, they'll pass it to QA. QA will test it. Let's say there are any bugs, they will send to, who will fix the bugs?
Developer.
Developers will fix it, and again they'll test it. So till this process keep on continuing till the application is free. Defect free. Once the application is defect free, they will hand over this application to ops teams, right? I'm talking about traditional approach, not DevOps approach. Okay, they'll hand it over to ops team. It's a responsibility of the ops team to deploy this application, right? Ops teams Ops teams would deploy it onto the servers. Before they deploy, they have to install certain compatibilities for the application, correct? Let's imagine this is a Java application. So they have to install the right version of Java, right? Right version of, let's say they want to deploy it onto Tomcat. They have to install the right version of Tomcat. So they have to check, they have to do all of these things. So developers or QA team, whenever they're sharing the application, they will also share the instruction document, which will have the instructions of which version of Java, which version of Tomcat should be there. Okay, they will do that. Even then, they provide this instruction document. If ops teams follow that instruction document, some of the steps may not be working, or else some of the instructions may be working on Windows servers, but not on Linux servers, right? It is shared by developers. So it may not be possible for upstream to understand all of them. Some of them may not be working. They have to fix it. They have to work on the dependencies and finally deploy the application, which would definitely take a lot of time. Let's say application is developed by January. It might be, developed and ready by January. It might be deployed in some June. They take a lot of time because they have to do all of these things. Not only that, they have to check the application is highly available. There is no downtime. Something is not broken. If something is broken, like how to take care of it. All of these ops teams have to work on, which would be at times challenging, time consuming, and which makes the deployment process very slow. Correct? So this is another challenge. So they have to speed up the deployments. How can they speed up the deployment? If all of these problems are eliminated, means if ops teams need not work on the underlying versions, compatibilities, dependencies, that can be overcome. Right? Deployments should be made faster. So how can we increase the velocity of the deployments? Not only working on these dependencies, the way the application is handed over should be changed. Means with DevOps, the way the application is handed over to DevOps teams, earlier they used to hand over to ops teams, now we have DevOps team. Okay, development team is still there. Development is separate team. DevOps team need not go and write the code. Developers are still there. They write the code and they hand over the application in a totally different way. In which way, if you ask me, we are going to discuss that in detail in the coming up sessions, but I'll just give you a small clue. They were containerizing the application. Means they were not just handing over the application. Okay, if you want me to talk in more detail, let's say it's a Java application. They used to directly simply share the var file earlier. But now they were sharing that var file coming up along with the dependencies. Okay, like Java, right versions of Java, they will containerize it. Container is nothing but pack of the application and dependencies. They were sharing this container to DevOps team. So now DevOps team need not work on these underlying dependencies for the application. Rather, they could deploy it on any environment seamlessly. Okay, we are having a separate session on this. It's a vast topic about containerization. But here today you can understand the way the application is packed and handover to ops teams completely changed. Right now, DevOps team can just deploy the application on test servers or UAT servers, whatever. Right? The application works seamlessly in any environment. Means the way they are packing the application completely changed. Right? Which led to, actually, this is the reason for DevOps because of the slow deployment process. Right? Slow deployment process. And so how it can be overcome, we'll talk about in what, but I'm just giving a clue. So the slow deployment process has changed because of the way they were handing over the application. Also by use of the tools, complete automation, 24/7 automation is possible now. Containerization is also a tool, right? Developers will containerize it and share it to DevOps teams. Means this containerization everyone should know, right? Let's suppose you are a developer from 10 years or 20 years, you still want to continue as a developer because you like it, you have passion for it. But still you need to know this containerization concepts because you are working in the DevOps methodology now. Am I clear? Any questions from anyone? Are we good?
Yeah, good.
Can I get confirmation from everyone? If you can't unmute, you can also give thumbs up.
Yeah, we are good.
We are good.
Yes.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the way the application is handover means the way of development, the way of deployment completely changed, right? We will talk about in detail in the separate classes, like I said, but just understand, yes, the process changed. Okay, obviously that's all automation. Means from the desk of a developer will write his code, and once he is ready with the code, this will go through so many steps, so many phases or stages, and it reaches the production table automatically without any manual intervention. The whole process can be automated, 24/7 possible, 24/7 automation possible without any manual intervention. Okay, we'll talk about that again, but yeah. So DevOps came in to overcome the gap between the teams, to increase the velocity of the deployment, to speed up the velocity of deployments, and to make the process, to remove the manual process. That's why DevOps came in. Not only this, there is one more reason: to eliminate the challenges posed by traditional software methodologies. Traditional SDLC methodologies, right? There were so many challenges these methodologies have posed. Like if you talk about SDLC, a typical SDLC. What is an SDLC?
Software development lifecycle.
Exactly, software development lifecycle. Okay, if anyone new to this, just understand it's nothing but sequence of activities involved in development. SDLC, software development lifecycle. Sequence of activities means like what are the different phases? First, requirement collection, then requirement analysis. Okay, you understand the requirements, then requirement collection, requirement analysis, then design, right? Then becomes coding, then testing, and delivery and maintenance. You deliver the product and maintain. So these are the different phases, and they go one after the other, right? Yes, by now you might have understood. I'm talking about waterfall methodology, the typical methodology which served the industry for decades. That's a simple methodology. Okay, the idea is not to teach you waterfall here. Just understand this is the process we used to have, the very famous methodology. Okay, here if you see the waterfall, the name says it just goes in one direction. Meaning, let's say you got the requirements in 2020, right? The requirements will be freezed. And let's say you are in coding phase, there is no going back. Okay, let me talk about with respect to the teams, dev team and ops team. This methodology, even though it served the industry for decades, it has posed a lot of challenges for both development and ops teams. Okay, like a development team have got challenges like it's a very slow methodology, right? Meaning, let's say, okay, now coding is completed, right? It would not be going for testing immediately. Testing may begin after some 6 months. Meanwhile, developers will start working on new code. Then testers comes with the bugs in the old code. They have to fix the bugs in the old code. They have to work on the new code. They'll have a lot of pressure doing it. Okay, developers have a lot of pressure. Also, testing delayed would be definitely costly. Testing is not going to happen immediately. So that's one of the challenge. And the next one is it's not a flexible methodology, right? Meaning you just go in one direction. Let's suppose you are in coding phase. Then if client come with new requirements, that's not possible. Like I said, requirements were given on 2022. They were freezed and you deliver this application on 2024 without accepting any changes in between. It doesn't work nowadays. Nowadays, it's a customer facing world, requirements changes completely, right? If you can't accept it and if you just deliver whatever they have requested on 2022, client doesn't need this application at all, right? Customer changing world, like customer facing world, requirements keep on changing. So this doesn't work. Also, complete software will be delivered all at once. Just now, like I mentioned, after 2 years, you're going to deliver the product with the business requirements on before 2 years. It doesn't work, right? So these are all the challenges faced by development team. Similarly, ops team also face challenges because it's a slow model. They have to maintain the servers running for all this duration. Managing the servers manually, keeping them up and running would be a challenge, right? And also poor monitoring. I'm talking about everything manual, like manually monitoring the infrastructure would be a challenge. You don't know which server went wrong, troubleshooting, fixing becomes challenging. Also, poor configuration management. Configuration management is a separate concept again, but let me tell you, it is about having a control on the infrastructure. Like you need to have details on what is happening on which server, what time kind of, but that's not possible again, managing it manually. These are all the challenges faced by both dev team and ops teams, right? How to overcome this? How can we overcome these traditional drawbacks of these traditional methodologies? Yep.
Using DevOps current.
Agile
Actually,
method.
Agile came in, but Agile was successful to overcome challenges of dev team, but not ops teams, right? So there came again, DevOps is a methodology actually. Okay, there came DevOps, which can overcome challenges of both the teams, dev team and ops team. DevOps came in, which can overcome challenges of both the teams, right? It can overcome challenges of both. But before we talk about how, let's talk about Agile. First, how Agile overcome challenges of dev team. Yeah, let's also have an understanding on it, a brief understanding on that. Yeah, Agile can overcome all the challenges of dev team because Agile implemented a methodology called continuous integration, continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous integration. What does it mean? Let me show you. Yeah. In Agile, let's say this is week 1. Okay. They'll work on only a chunk of code, not complete software. They'll work on bits and parts. Let's say a chunk of code A is developed. Okay, on week 2, immediately this chunk of A will be going for testing. Then developers start working on another chunk of code called B, another bit of code, let's say. And again on, okay, let's say week 2, they were testing it. Sorry, 1 minute. On week 2, developers are working on this. Okay, again on week 3, this particular bit of code B will be tested. Okay. Also, this B will be tested in combination with A, correct? Meanwhile, developers might be developing another bit of code. Oh, see, actually A is there. B should be merged into A and tested, right? Then only it makes a complete product. Whole product should be tested again by merging into the system. This is called continuous integration. Means if you see every week, development is happening, testing is happening, right? Development, testing happening parallelly, continuously. Also integration, whatever new changes, they were being integrated into the system and tested, right? This is nothing but in simple, which is called continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous integration. They were implementing this concept. Development, testing are happening parallelly, iteratively, which and then integrated, which makes the product, right? This is possible because in Agile methodology, code is developed in bits and parts. Every week or every alternative week, there will be a release, right? Code is always stable and available, right? Also, testing is happening immediately, not at a later stages after 6 months. So testing, if it is happening immediately, it is very easy to fix it, right? So yeah, also code is developed in chunks, in bits and parts. Not that complete software is delivered after 2 years. It will be delivered after every 15 days, let's say, so that any modifications, feedback can be taken and implemented, always working on continuous process to achieve qualitative products. This is how Agile works, and it can overcome challenges of dev team. But challenges of ops team were still there. Is this clear, everyone, how Agile works? Just a brief on it. We will be looking into this continuous development, testing, continuous integration, how this happens, how are those pipelines also. We will talk about like in detail in the course. We will do hands-on on creating those pipelines. Yeah. Understood this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how Agile is working. And then DevOps came in. So DevOps can overcome challenges of ops teams as well. But how is that possible? That's possible because Agile implements continuous development, means developers will keep on writing the code, continuous testing, and then continuous integration along with continuous deployment. Any code will be deployed, any changes will be deployed, and continuous monitoring. Right? This is what is DevOps. DevOps is continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. Means, like I said, any change made by developers, once developer is ready with the code and once tester is ready with his automation test cases, okay, like building the code, executing those test cases, all of that stages happens automatically till it reaches the production table. This process of automation, what is happening after developer is done with his coding and testers ready with his test case, is called CI/CD pipeline, right? Whoever working in this part of automating the code till production is nothing but a DevOps engineer. If anyone interested in this part, that's where DevOps comes in. Whoever want to become a DevOps engineer should be able to work on any stages in this part. You are not into development, okay? There is a separate development team. You are not into testing. There is again separate testing team who will write the test cases. Here you should just build the code automatically in the pipeline, run those test cases, containerize it in the automation fashion, deploy it to, of course, first to lower level environments, then to the production. The whole process is automated. And this is called CI/CD pipelines, which you'll be working on. So let's say you are completely beginner, you're completely fresh into IT, you are from something else, some other background. If you know, if you can work on this part, yes, you can, you are eligible as for a DevOps engineer. Let's suppose you have worked as developer for 10 years. Now you want to work in this part. Yes, you are eligible. Similarly, you are a tester. Now you don't want to write test case, but now you want to work in this part. Yes, you are eligible. You might be a DBA, you might be an admin, you might be an ops person. If you know this process of automation, of taking the code till production automatically, yes, you can work in this part. You are eligible to become a DevOps person. So this is what we'll be learning in this course. This is the box we will be working on. Okay, there are so many stages in this part. Okay, DevOps is a methodology. Okay, it's a process. So we'll be learning about different DevOps strategies or like different approaches we can pick up. So we'll be learning DevOps approaches, different DevOps tools. To achieve this automation, you definitely need tools. So we will be learning about how to use these tools, how to integrate and create this CI/CD pipeline, right? So initially, let's say it's you are creating the pipeline stage. In the project, it's in the creating the pipeline stage. Initially, during the creation, you may need more people, like maybe 6 people during when they have to build it. Once it is built and automated and stabilized, you may need less people there. Other people will be working on the other infra part. Means in the same pipeline, you'll be working. So many things are there. For this pipeline to work, you have to work on the infrastructure. How do you automate the infrastructure? That's again there. You will manage the clusters. There are also those areas. It's not just CI/CD pipeline, managing the infra, automating the infra, maintaining high availability of the infra. All of that comes under DevOps, right? So if you know these DevOps strategies, DevOps tools and skill set, yes, you have a demand in the market. Like if you see this, you know, it's a complete automation. So in the couple of years, whoever, almost all the companies, gigantic companies are implementing this approach. Even small companies were also stepping into it because of this advance, because it's very faster. That's what companies need, right? Deployments become faster, right? You can deliver any feature overnight. Have you ever wondered, like if you see some applications like Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, they can deliver a feature very quickly. How is that possible? They're all implementing DevOps. Yes, any new feature can be deployed to production servers automatically without manual intervention. Of course, first to all the lower level environments to production automatically. Yes, that is possible. That may sound risky, but yeah, that's possible with DevOps, and that's what is happening with all these companies. So definitely companies need quality, faster deployments. When it is automated, obviously it's reducing on manpower, right? So this is the right time for you. In couple of years, whoever having the strongest skill set will survive in the market. So it's a right time for you to invest your time, effort, and learn these tools and skills. Any questions? I definitely know you might be having question, am I eligible, or else a developer is eligible for it, or else if I'm a developer, should I work on this? So I believe I answered those questions, but still if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask such questions now.
No, it's mandatory to containerization for the DevOps.
It's not mandatory, but that's the best approach. It's not mandatory. Without containerization also, you can implement DevOps, but that's the best phase. Containerization depends on your application also. So it's not mandatory. That's one of the approaches I've explained you.
Okay, thank you.
What is the exact meaning of infrastructure, says Raja? The infrastructure meaning your servers, right? Where you are running your application or where you are running your services. You need some server to do anything, right? That's basically called as infrastructure. Servers, service, logins, database management. In short, we can consider them as infrastructure. So this is what is DevOps. If you compare it, like if you want me to compare this with other methodologies like SDLC and Agile and DevOps, right? Here, if you talk about this, like there is a development. After development, only testing begins. Okay, after testing, then comes deployment, one after the other, right? This is happening one after the other, and then monitoring. Okay, but then Agile came in. This is happening parallelly, iteratively. Development is happening, testing is also happening, continuous integration, then deployment and monitoring were manual once all of this is done, right? Okay, but then DevOps came in, which is like development, testing happening continuously, continuous integration, continuous deployment, deploy it to the environments, okay, and then continuous monitoring, right? That's with respect to the phases. If with respect to the teams, if you talk about development team is working separately, QA team, and also ops team. 3 teams were working in silos, in separation. They don't understand the challenges, requirements of others. Okay, they're working in separation, in silos, in isolation. And in Agile, because development is happening, testing happening continuously, iteratively, developers, testers were brought together. Brought together in the sense, it doesn't mean that tester will go and write the code, developers will go and write the test cases. But they were working together. They were in like hand in hand, because things are happening parallelly. They should communicate regularly, right? They were working as a single team. They were working with a proper understanding, proper collaboration. Developers know the challenges, requirements of QA know the process of them. So like a kind of understanding, but still ops team is left in isolation here. Okay, and because of this continuous approach now, developers, testers, ops teams, which is nothing but DevOps team, were brought in together. Now they were working with a proper understanding, proper communication. Means because see, it's a continuous process, it's a pipeline. So everyone should understand the pipeline. Even though you still want to continue as developer, because it's a DevOps pipeline, you should have idea of these tools and the knowledge of how the pipeline is happening, where is your code, how it is built, how it is automated. So everyone, even though you want to continue as a developer or a tester, if you are working in a certain methodology like DevOps, you should know like what is it, what is the CI/CD, like where is my code, how my test case are executing. Let's say your test case are broken or not working there, they'll again revert to you. So yeah, people are working with a proper collaboration, proper understanding, right? They communicate on regular basis, almost like a single team. This is what like this approach brought them together. And yeah, that's where collaboration is established. Teams are working with more collaboration, with a proper understanding, reduce the blame game. There is no more blame game, right? This is what is DevOps. Okay, there is a question from Ramana in the chat. Do we need any coding knowledge to become a DevOps engineer? You don't need to become a developer, because like I told you, development team is still there. They will write the code. Testers are still there who will develop their automation test cases using whatever is a testing tool. So you don't need to write the code for them, or you don't need to write test cases. Okay, that's not required. Yeah, I would also like to mention here, they say that, okay, developers, DevOps teams also write the code. It's not actually coding, it's scripting, and that scripting is like you have references, you have templates, using that you write the script. Okay, here I'll teach you how you can develop those. Those are actually manifest files, configuration files. Okay, that's not actual coding like how developers develop, or how developers work for their building the logic and all. This is a kind of different thing. Yes, we do have manifest files, configuration files, but it is not coding. Okay, identify the difference. This is not coding like how developers do. It's far simple and far easy. Anyone and everyone can do it. How is that? We will be learning here from scratch. Any more questions here?
Yeah, are you going to teach AWS DevOps only?
AWS will be teaching DevOps in such a way that it can be implemented on any platform. Also, as an example, I'll be showing you that on AWS. Okay, see, DevOps is a methodology. It's irrespective of the platform. You may implement it on any cloud or else on-prem as well. So the course will be in such a way that after this course, you can implement DevOps on on-prem or else any cloud. As an example of one cloud, we'll be doing it on AWS.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
So this is what we
How
have
about CI/CD pipeline?
Huh?
How about CI/CD pipelines?
CI/CD pipelines will be built in the codes.
Are you able to teach GitHub Actions also?
GitHub Actions will not be covered. I'll be showing you, okay, what are all the things I'll cover. These are all the things which we have discussed. Okay, you will get access to all these presentations like a reference for you to go through after the class. These are the differences I'm talking about: waterfall, agile, and DevOps. You have a continuous development as well in DevOps. I mean, continuous deployment. And then roles of responsibilities. So you should be able to work in CI/CD pipeline at any stage, right? That's one of your role, and also working on, like I told you about, automating the infra with Terraform, managing the Kubernetes clusters. All of these comes under the roles.
And ma'am,
I
for
see
Kubernetes,
that. Tell me, please.
yeah, Kubernetes. So, you covering the all the syllabus of the CKD?
See, CKD certification content will be different from what will you use in the projects. Okay, certifications for any tool, not only Kubernetes, certification course content will be different. Okay, this course content will be different. This course content will be in such a way that this will help you to work in the project, clear your interviews. CKD, to take up the CKD, definitely you need this course. Okay, but there might be some new topics, or else some exclusion of the topics we cover here. You don't have CI/CD pipelines in the CCAD. Like, we have Kubernetes integration in the CI/CD pipeline here, but that will not be there in CCAD. Similarly, in CCAD, something else might be there which will not be covered here. Like I told you the difference, right? Here the agenda is to work in the projects to clear the interviews. Okay, if you want certification, you have to take up a separate course for them. The simple difference I can tell you is, if you take up this Kubernetes course, you can self-learn those courses for CCAD and any certification, right? And also the approach would be different. You learn the Kubernetes here from scratch into the advanced concepts, how to implement and all. There it would be kind of, how do you complete a questionnaire in this particular given time, a kind of a competitive test. Objective based, of course, scenario based is there for sure for CCAD, but the approach would be different. So that would be a separate course. Okay, there is a question from Kavya. I see that so many job requirements ask for Python implementation. How is implemented in DevOps? Okay, Kavya, Python is not mandatory for all DevOps projects. Okay, Python is used in DevOps project in certain areas to automate few things or to automate certain regular tasks. Okay, but it's not that every project is using Python. Okay, that is used in certain projects and that's not mandatory. So Python will not be covered here. Like I said, it's not just a DevOps tool. It's a separate programming language. Okay, Python will not be covered here. Projects are asking, means some of the projects asking Python. Maybe their project might be in such a way that they were depending mostly on Python. If that is the case, they might be giving you such a job description. Remember, all job descriptions doesn't suit you. If you are interested, if you are into development, you are more inclined into automating the things for Python, then you should choose such job descriptions. Okay, or else if you are more inclined towards DevOps strategies and methodologies, learn these tools than learning Python. You have more you have more openings or more market for this. Do you go through Groovy language in Jenkins? Aman, Jenkins is written in pipeline DSL, which is Groovy based. Generally, people call it as a Groovy. Jenkins file is written in Groovy. It's not exact Groovy. It is derived from Groovy. But yeah, we will be learning how to write the Jenkins file. Yes. And there is another question from Ramana. As I can see, a lot of tools in the syllabus. So as a DevOps engineer, we should work on all these tools in our day-to-day work. Okay. I'll answer your question in a while, Ramana. First, let me walk you through the topics or the tools we are covering. We'll be covering Git. What is Git? If you're completely new, I'm just mentioning the tools here. That's all. Okay. We will be understanding them as we progress. Version control system, Git is covered. Build automation tools, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Ansible, Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm. Again, in Docker, you have huge content. Prometheus, Grafana for monitoring, and certain AWS services for DevOps. Right? This is all covered in this course. And if you talk about version control systems, or else if you talk about continuous integration tools, there were so many tools in this category. Like if you talk about version control systems, you might have heard about or you might have some idea on it, right? You have Git, you have SVN here. Okay, you have TFS. So many tools are there. You don't need to learn all the tools in the category. Learn one tool, master one tool in the category. That is enough, right? If you know one tool in the category, you can work on any other tools on your own. Okay, companies are also expecting to have knowledge in one tool under the category. So master and expertise one tool, that is enough. So we'll be learning it. Similarly, when there were so many build automation tools, there were so many continuous integration tools. Like you have Jenkins, you have so many other tools in this category like GitLab, GitHub Actions, and so on. We will be learning Jenkins here thoroughly. So expertise one tool in the category. Even when we talk about cloud computing, okay, we will here the main agenda of this course is DevOps methodology on cloud platform. And as an example of that cloud, we are using AWS. If you know to implement on cloud, you can also implement, if you know to implement on AWS, it will be easy for you to implement on any cloud. That's what companies are looking for. They're not expecting you should have done it on GCP, you should have done it on Azure. If you know doing DevOps implementation on one cloud, they're expecting you can implement it on any cloud or on-prem. That's how even the course is designed with. Okay, so yeah, so that's what you should keep in mind. Learn one tool thoroughly and gain expertise on it. You can switch over to any other tools, right? Or similar, same is the case with the cloud. Because that's the reason, because DevOps is emerging. Day by day, new tools are coming up. It's not that you stick up with this tool. If you know this tool, companies are expecting you can work with the similar tools. Tomorrow, some other cloud may come up. You should be able to switch over to that. That's the expectation. So master one tool under each category, one cloud. That's how it works. Is that clear?
Yes. So is this training completed?
Rohit, like I
previously?
already mentioned, I don't name this as a basic or advanced. Okay, I don't want to name this course because the course content is designed in such a way that you can work in the projects independently. You can claim experience up to 3 to 4 years as well upon your hands-on, your practice, and how much you gain from the course. I'm teaching you to an extent that you can claim 6 years experience also, but it depends how much expertise you gain from this course, because it depends on your hands-on, how much time you're spending on the hands-on, how many scenarios you have done, all that counts. Ramana, I believe I answered your question. Somnath
Will
will
you
be
provide the live
covering
projects?
One second, please. Somnath will be covering this CI/CD pipeline on multiple applications like microservice as well as a monolithic application. So you will get an idea of how it works in the real practice as well.
Hello.
Yes, tell me, please.
Yeah. Will you provide one project which covering all these tools, like, so that we can understand at
Yes,
the end of the course?
2 projects will be there. Like I said, a monolithic application, a microservice application, wherein we'll be building this pipeline end to end so that you will see how these tools work on end to end. How it is different from real time, the environment is different. That's all. The concepts, the way of implementation would be same. There might be some like the security strategies, these implementations, but this is the overall approach you will see. Every day after the class, you will have doubt session, Raja. Every day 10. In between also, you can ask related to the topic. Anything out of topic at the end of the class or before the class, we'll have some time to discuss them. Like if you have questions on the previous topics and all. So this is the pipeline I'm talking about. Okay, like first initially developers write the code. Pull the code, build it, test it, deploy it using Docker, Kubernetes, create the infra, manage the infra using Terraform, Ansible, monitor and send the feedback. So this is in short I'm talking about. This is the CI/CD implementation, which can be implemented irrespective of the platform. It can be implemented on any cloud or on-prem. As an example of cloud, we'll be doing it on AWS. In that process, we'll be learning certain AWS services as well. It's not that because that the course content is there, just go through the topic. Okay, we will be going through the topics in such a way that whenever you come across the requirement, we'll be covering those services and tools. Yes, Abhishek, you will get the assignments, quiz every day. You will have a learning portal. You have the quiz and assignments given. Hands-on is mandatory, which I would be telling from the day one. Whoever does the hands-on without fail on every day can achieve your goal very easily. I'm here to help you reach your goals. You should come with an open mind, allocate your time and your dedication. You need to put your time and dedication. That's what I need from you. Ravitesh, your lab will be set up. Everyone will have your own lab. Okay. A free lab will be there. A free AWS account will be created and you will be setting up our lab there so that you can do your hands-on at your own pace, at your convenience. These are all open source tools, so you don't need to buy. There is a certain services. I'm also covering paid services. Like Kubernetes, I'll show you where you can use it for free. I'll also show you some EKS service, which is the real way of using it. Like in production, there is an EKS service which they'll use. Even that will be covered. That is a paid thing. Okay, whether you do the hands-on on it or not, it's up to you. You don't need to do the hands-on. If you watch the recording, that's fine. But yeah, everything else would be within the free limitation. You should take care of the free account and use it in the free limits. So you will not be charged for that.
The classes will be there Saturday, Sunday or Monday to Friday?
Monday to Friday, but depending on the sessions, if required, we'll be having certain sessions on Saturday as well. Like that would be
Preethi,
pure notified.
but
Oh,
do we
but
have different time zones as well, or timelines? Because morning 6 would be little difficult.
No, this is the time I have, 6 to 7:30, and we have another batch at 7:30 to 9, and that would be started in the next month. These are the two time slots I have.
Any batch is going on evening time because mornings.
No,
I
no,
have
not
morning
nothing
shift.
in the evening as I do work, so I cannot
Okay.
accommodate in the evening. So this is the CI/CD pipeline we'll be working on. See, when the course begins, we'll be zooming into each section. Like first, we'll be working on Git. Understand this thoroughly. You don't learn writing the code, but you learn how to work with Git. You should know Git. Developers are placing their code there. Even we as a DevOps teams will place our config files in Git. So we'll be learning Git, how to use Git to manage any files. So we'll be Zoom. Then we'll be learning Jenkins, then Maven. Okay, how to automate test case execution. Then we'll be learning Docker. As you learn Git and Jenkins, you create a pipeline till this part. Then you learn Docker, you add this stage next. So that's how we'll be keep on adding each stages. We'll be zooming into each section and keep on adding each stages and form the CI/CD pipeline. That's how we work. That's the agenda. From tomorrow, we'll be starting with Git. For any tool, we'll be starting from basics till advanced concepts, like including the architecture, we'll be covering it. And once Git is done, we'll start with Jenkins. Once both of these are done, we'll create pipeline till this part. Okay, then we'll go and learn Maven, then add the next stage. Then go and learn how to execute test case automatically, then add that phase. Then learn Docker, then come and build the pipeline. So step by step, we'll be building this pipeline, which may take some time. So as we progress, you will get a visibility on how this is. Yeah, everyday class recordings will be shared. Okay, every day you will get the class recordings. Initial sessions recordings may be there in YouTube as a public access with public access initial sessions. Later on, they'll be like from fourth class, they'll be with the private access. Like all the registered students can access it.
Preethi, Ansible and Terraform both will be taught, right? Or only
Yes,
Ansible?
both will be covered. Both are different tools. One is for infrastructure provisioning, one another for configuration management. So both of them will be covered.
Monitoring tools, Grafana, Prometheus, both, right? Only
Yes.
one.
Actually, Prometheus is a monitoring tool. Grafana is a visualization tool. Both of them will be covered.
Okay, okay, thanks.
And I just want to show you, yeah, we will be having our own lab setup. Every one of you will have your own lab setup, a free lab setup. Okay, you have to use it in the free limits. There is some free tier with AWS. So everyone will create that free account and use it. That's one thing. And this is all the documentation you will get access to, where you will have the lab setup documentations and hands-on commands, everything. Today's presentation is here, even interview questions, sample resumes, everything there. Not only that, once you are registered, you will get the access to this LMS, okay, wherein you have the quiz portals. On every topic, you have quiz. Every day, you can take up your quiz to evaluate like how well you understand. You can retake those quizzes, assignments, interview questions, everything available in this portal. Okay, there were some questions in the questions panel. DevOps engineers work as a team or individual, handle all the stuff in the company, and how is the market in the course? They work as a team, Ramana, and market is good for DevOps when compared with other technologies. Overall market is not that great, but when you compare with other technologies, DevOps is better. Code scanning, these are all the phases that should be included by developers, Sandeep. If they have integrated those stages, you will implement in the pipeline. You will get understanding on how that works. Yes, unit testing stage will be executing. There is a question from Raviteja. I heard ML, Power BI, or any other development tools going to get their own ops like Power Ops. So how future DevOps will be? DevOps future will be there for sure, at least as per my assumption, for the next 2 decades, Raviteja. ML Ops is for machine language. Okay, you have DevOps implementation there. Like Ops, ML Ops is a kind of automating the machine language operation machine language applications. That's a different thing, not DevOps.
And
Apart
we
from
see,
Ansible, one second. Apart from Ansible, do you share some insights on Puppet and Chef? As I have experience working with Puppet and Ansible, both of them, I can help you identify the differences. Learning both the tools will not help. Like I already mentioned, right, Sandeep? It's no use for you to learn multiple tools in the same category. Like Puppet, Ansible, both are same. Don't learn both of them. Learn one. Okay, that like a simple version control system, Git, SVN are there. Do you think you should learn both? Anyone here who is working with any version control systems? Anyone here who is working with any version control system?
Bitbucket,
Okay, which version control system are you using? Git, SVN, or which one?
it's Git
I
only.
think it.
It's
Do you think you should also learn SVN?
not needed.
Right? Because see, they'll be almost similar, concepts will be similar. Same is the case for any other tool. Puppet, if you know Ansible, Puppet does similar things, but the terminology, those might be different. You don't need to spend additional time to learn it. Suppose if you have a requirement in a project, you can self-learn them because you already know Ansible. Okay, that's how it is, Sandeep. I believe I made the things clear for you. I believe I answered your question. Yes,
Preethi,
interview questions will be there. Okay, you have a lot of interview questions to go through. As you go by, you should have time to go through. You have so many interview questions provided. Yeah, resume preparation will be helping you with that.
Preethi, we have DevSecOps, current like DevOps. Later we got DevSecOps.
Yeah.
Like so many ops, like you said, ML ops, AI ops.
Those are different things. Okay, whenever you see ops, that's not DevOps.
Yeah, DevSecOps comes under.
DevSecOps is related to DevOps, where security is also a concern there. Security measures like reaching the SLAs, SLOs, so that's completely into the these things like a security part of it.
Okay.
That's a different thing.
Okay.
For experience, okay, there's a question from Kavya. For experienced candidates, the level of questions differ in the interview. We will face in-depth project-related challenges faced, etc. Will you be explaining how to answer an experienced person? Kavya, like I said, I'm covering the topics from basics till advanced, okay? If you are an experienced person, you'll get the questions on those advanced topics, the in-depth questions. Definitely, those are covered. Like I told you, right? I can say this course can help you claim 6 years experience also, but how much you gain? I'm teaching you. At times, what happens is certain topics, freshers feels it difficult to grab it. Even experienced person, you might be experienced 15 years into example, I'm telling. Someone might be experienced a 15 years experienced person into development. It will not be again easy for them to understand Kubernetes basics also because totally different subject. When anyone take up different subject which is not relevant to you, let's say I'm a tester, for me it will be very difficult to understand Kubernetes in one go. That's for sure. Even Terraform might be difficult. It might be difficult, but your practice, okay, your effort, how much time you are spending on each class, like let's say today we have the class, you should put your time from your end and get thorough till those advanced concepts I'm teaching. I will teach everything, but you should, like, one should able to grasp everything. If you are able to do that by putting your time and effort, yes, you can clear your interviews for sure, like for an experience level also.
Okay, Preeti, thank you.
Yes, Raja, person can become DevSecOps. It's more related to checking on the metrics, SLA, security part, meeting the designing the SLOs. That's where you sit in. It's a kind of working on the performance of the application, high availability of the application, bringing best practices.
Is it cover Argo CD, Rancher, like that?
Argo CD will be covered, Rancher will not be covered.
Okay.
Okay, there is another question from Nischal. I'm having 13 plus years of experience currently working as Splunk consultant. But how do I accommodate this experience in my resume for jobs? Okay, let's suppose you might be a Splunk, you might be working on Splunk, so you're a Splunk consultant, someone might be working on DB. How do you put these tools in your resume, right? How do you explain your projects?
Yeah.
We will help you understand this. Okay, you can
Yes.
get in touch with Mr. Raj. He can help you guide that with. I
Okay.
will tell you in a way where everyone can understand. Let's suppose you are working as a developer for 10 years. You want to include these tools and like you want to switch over to DevOps. The same development project, okay, wherever you have done or whatever you have done, you might have done manually. Those tools, I mean, those are the areas we'll check and will help you put these tools and showcase your experience. You have worked in these tools and this DevOps approach, the same development, but you have implemented with a DevOps methodology. That's how we will guide you to build up your resume. Okay, you can reach us personally to discuss on that. Raj is here, who is a better counselor to help you with all these things.
Okay. Okay, Preeti, thanks.
Clearing certification will give more visibility to the recruiters to get shortlisted. A question from Raja Feb 24. Okay. Raja, certification is expected from experienced persons. Means, let's say you have somehow did your certification, you put it in your resume. Definitely, recruiters expect the same level of expertise from you, right? So that's how the questionnaire interview questions will be. You should be able to answer them. So whenever you take up certifications, there it is clearly written some of the certification, at least like CCAT, CKA, you should be experienced 3 to 4 experience to take up the certification. But let's say, okay, you are interested, you can learn, you can do hands-on to that extent and do it, which is fine, you can go for it. Similarly, be prepared to handle such questions in the interview as well. Otherwise, when you keep certification, if you don't show that kind of expertise, it won't help you. So what I would suggest is rather than just making up a certification, first gain knowledge on the subject, gain grip over the subject, right? Once you learn it thoroughly, once you get confidence, if there is any chance, try to work on it. If your projects in your project, if you have those, work on it. Okay, then take up the certification. Then if you put that in your resume, definitely it will help you. But yeah, people without working also, they'll do it, which is fine. Again, you should also prepare in such a way to handle the interview. But it's not mandatory, okay? It's not mandatory. You should do certifications to get through. Any more questions? I believe I answered all of your questions. Any more questions left?
Preeti, I have one question.
Yes, please.
I'm from the infra team, so I would like to go only for Kubernetes administration, so not other tools for that. So is it possible to go only for Kubernetes administration in your course, or I have to opt a different course for
You have
your?
to opt a different course because here I'll be covering Kubernetes. Like I said, it's not there particularly like Kubernetes development or Kubernetes admin. I'm covering a Kubernetes topic in general, which would help everyone to work on. If you are specifically interested with a CKA, that's a certification course. You should opt for a separate course.
So, like any further, like coming or this month or next month,
No, I
something.
am not offering a separate course for admin or a developer. So
Okay,
if you are interested, you can take up the same part, like only Kubernetes tool in this course.
okay. So I have to pay only for that one, or I have to pay full?
Yes, you can pay only for that. But may I know the reason why you are opting only for that? Do you know
Uh,
other strategies, DevOps methodology, or?
no, that's only requirement in my organization, and I want
Oh,
to switch a little bit for that one. That's why.
okay.
So I can devote myself only for the Kubernetes. So that's why I asked.
Okay.
So is it, can I get the info for that one?
Yeah, you
Like,
can connect with Mr. Raj. Okay, he can help you with.
thank you.
And Aman, you can register for the training registration details. You can get in touch with Raj. Here is the contact number on the website. Okay, for the registrations or any other details about the access, fees and all, you can connect on this number. And similarly, if you want to discuss on how you can switch your career and all, yeah, he's the best counselor. You can reach out to him. And Naresh's question is, I have a career gap with nearly 9 years. Is it possible to switching IT that to DevOps? Will I survive in the IT? 9 years, you have worked on like from which profile you are, Naresh? You're working as or anything you have done into IT previously? You have a gap, but previously. Okay. Okay, you can connect on this number, Naresh. Okay, we can help you with that. Any more queries? Okay, there were so many questions popping in. Just a second. I'm working as a deep learning engineer. Say I did this course properly. What are the job perspectives for me? Job prospects. Okay. So you can whenever you are working on the CI/CD pipelines and the approach, Raja, you can relate it to your implementation. Like let's say you are working on some particular application. The CI/CD flow we are taking up here will help you implement the same for your applications, whatever you are working on. Like let's say you might be working as a Java developer, right? So as a Java developer, you can show the CI/CD pipeline implementation with respect to your Java application. You can explain in such a way that this is how you have implemented CI/CD pipelines in your projects. That's how you can relate to it. For like a detailed discussion, you can call us. Do we cover all the tools as set on the syllabus link so that we can hands-on? Yes, Pratop, all those topics will be covered. You have the course content in this website as well. You can go through it. Yeah, all those topics will be covered. After this course, with certification, we can go for CK or CCAD part with extra topic with self-learn. Depending on your background also, Rohit, if you are more into infra part, you can go with CKA. Okay, or else you are completely new to infra or else Kubernetes as well. CCAD, you can go with CCAD. The differences I'll explain you. Okay, once we get into the tool, you will understand the differences better. CCAD is like you will be working on creating manifest files for deployments. You are working on your application deployments basically. CKA is about Kubernetes administration, is about creating your clusters and working on underlying configurations of the clusters, managing the cluster high availability. That's what is more into CKA. One is administration and one is a development part of it. Development in the sense not coding, it's a development. You create manifest files to deploy your application. That's what we call as Kubernetes development. A question from Ravana. So what about challenges in real time? Is that difficult or we can handle it without any prior experience? Challenges depends, Ramana. Whether you can solve it or not depends on how much expertise you gain from the course. Okay, challenges could be simple. I mean, simple challenge. Challenges might be quite complex, which needs a heavy experienced person. It depends. But yeah, upon your expertise, you gain from the course. It depends on how much expertise you gain. Every day session will be from 6 to 7:30, Pratap, last 10 or 15 minutes for the questionnaire. Or if we did that questionnaire in the beginning, yeah, it would be till 7:30. 1 hour, 15 minute session you can assume. And then some questionnaire or discussions happen. So Azure DevOps is not covered, Shiva. Like I said, whether you implement on AWS or Azure doesn't make a difference except certain services. Okay. It's not that YAML scripts are for Azure DevOps. Okay. YAML files you will create for Kubernetes, you will create for Ansible, you will create for Docker Compose. So many places will create YAML files. We will learn how to do it. Duration of the course is 2 months, Sandeep. Any more questions? So like I said, lot of interview questions will be covered. Hands-on scenarios will be covered. You have to do the hands-on. Whatever hands-on queries we do, majority of them just listen and attend the sessions, which will not help in any way. You have to do the hands-on mandatorily. After the session, you should spend some time and go for the hands-on. If you can't go for the hands-on immediately, at least by the weekend, do the hands-on. You have a weekend off, right? So do the hands-on and get ready for the next week. At least that is the approach you should pick up. So a lot of interview question scenarios will be covered. As you complete your scenario, and then you can come and ask me for more scenarios, right? As you keep on completing, I can provide you more scenarios. So it's a mutual thing. How many scenarios I provide depends on how much of you are done with, how much you can take up. So which needs definitely your time and effort and your dedication. I definitely know everyone here will be busy with your own stuff, but yeah, allocate some time every day or at least in the weekend. Complete your scenarios, assignments given, then come up with a new, come up with the questions for new scenarios. Any more questions? Anything else? See, if you still have any questions or anything else, you can reach us on this number. Okay, you can WhatsApp or you can call on this number and clarify your queries. So once registered, you'll get access to all of this material on the drive, this portal, and also a separate WhatsApp group will be created for doubts resolving. Every day when you do the hands-on, if you're stuck up, you can post it. So whenever, once we are available, we can help you with it. Any more queries? Now you are open for all the questions. Out of topic or any questions will be answered. Okay, I'm here for you to help you with answering your questions to the extent of my knowledge.
Hi, Preethi. Manjunath here.
Yeah, please tell me.
Preethi, Manjunath here. So one thing, see, I come from IT background itself, kind of a Linux senior lead and manager. So I was just checking out few things. One, you said CKE, CKD, all those things. So this course is intended for administrative side or development side, or is it combination of both?
Okay, Manjunath, I believe you missed something which I explained. Here I am not talking about certifications. This course is not at all related to any certifications. First thing.
Right.
Second thing, some of the people asked me about CKA, CKD, so I'm talking about them. Coming to the Kubernetes I cover here is in general. Okay, it's not voting for CKA or CKD. It covers both of them in general, in the sense that It will be helpful for anyone, whoever want to take up any certification, either CCAD or CKA. It will be helpful for them. But if you want certification, course content will be different. Some topics might be excluded, some topics might be included. It's a separate concept, whole different thing.
Okay, but do we need them for uh,
I already
real-time
explained, right?
experience?
No, certifications are not mandatory. Okay, you gain
Okay,
expertise on the subject, not on certifications.
okay,
Certifications are not at all mandatory. I wouldn't suggest to take up certification as a beginner. Like I said, even certification page, if you go, they'll tell you 3 to 4 experience, then take up this. But yeah, people are interested, people have requirement, you may take up them, but also be prepared to
okay,
handle such questions and challenges in the job. Get prepared for them, you can take. Otherwise, just take the certification and if you can't show that expertise, it would be a not good, right? So plan accordingly. But no certifications are mandatory. Rather than certification, they'll check on your expertise. Maybe there might be some couple of interviews where their client might be looking for certification people. So just certification, they may just hire you. But later on, challenge begins, right? Even though you
yeah,
are not
exactly.
interviewed, their expectation is you are certified, they have certain expectations. So
Okay,
prepare in such a way that you are meeting those expectations when you do certification.
okay. While we do this, right? See, the main challenge nowadays, you know, right? So because of getting the interview calls and other stuff. So can you help the team here on how do we track it down and get the interview calls as well?
Definitely. See, like from the beginning, I'm telling this course will help you work on your projects and clear your interviews. That's the agenda. I myself have cleared my interviews, many interviews I can help you with. So the topics, if you master and the way the interview questions can be cleared as well.
Okay.
There are
And
people who have got multiple offers. Many of them were switched their careers with this particular course. Yes, like I said, you should have your open mind, your time and dedication. I'm here to help you reach your goals.
Hi, Preethi, Rajik here.
Yeah, hi, Razik.
Yeah, this question might be the most of the people's questions. So basically, I just want to know, right? So I'm let's say I'm having 9 years of a totally technical background, Java, Angular, database, right? So as I joined new organization and I got a chance to work with the DevOps team. Right now we're using Git and TeamCity for building and UDPLA for deployment application. So in the overall, right, I'm seeing in next 2 months, okay, how much this helped me, as a full-fledged DevOps engineer.
Okay, after this course, you will gain confidence and you will gain understanding and expertise on end-to-end CI/CD pipeline with all the tools we were looking in. And as we learn Jenkins here, you are using a similar kind of things like you deploy and all. You will also find the similarities, differences a lot. Personally for you, like I'm telling, because you are talking about your tools, right? So you
Yeah.
will see the differences between them. You will gain an understanding on when to use what. Okay, you will also get a good clarity on end-to-end DevOps approach, integrating all the tools. You will gain expertise on all these tools like Git, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform. You will know definitely how to use them, how to implement them in your projects.
Yeah, I mean, my question, yes, thank you, Preeti. Same thing, right? So I'm from totally technical background with Java, Angular in a DB side, and I did get a chance to work on the day upstream, and I don't know. I mean, the topics which you are showing right now, right? So I heard them, but I don't know what exactly these. So basically, as a team member, I'm working with the team, like Git, taking the code and deploy it, build it, right? So that's where I joined this class, and thank you for your explanation. I hope this will help me a lot.
This will help you definitely. You can relate to whatever we're discussing. You relate to your discussions in the project. You are already into DevOps team, right? So you
Yeah.
can relate whatever we were talking about on a daily basis. Definitely.
Yeah, hi Preeti, good morning. So I am into infrastructure for more than 12 plus years. So I thought of taking this course and moving my career, as you said, clearing the interviews and taking the path and the DevOps role. As a basics, I want to get, I hope in our sessions, from the basics, it will be covered, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, from basics till the advanced concepts will be covered.
Okay.
Like you take any tool for Docker basic commands like pull, push. Everyone might be doing that pull, push or images and all. They will be also covering building containers, database containers will be building, will be developing microservice application. We'll be looking into Docker Compose to deploy this microservice application. Also integrate Docker in the CI/CD, integrate Docker Compose in the CI/CD. Also, once this is done, we will also talk about deploying them as a pods in the Kubernetes cluster. Once we learn Kubernetes cluster with on-prem kind of setup, because Kubernetes on-prem is gaining demand nowadays, we will first go with the on-prem Kubernetes cluster setup. We will learn everything there. And then also EKS is where production deployments happen. Majority of the applications, like 50% of Kubernetes clusters are EKS. That's a paid service. Even I'm covering that, like to show you how exactly you manage your EKS clusters, how deployments happen, and even integrate that in the CI/CD pipeline. And Argo CD comes in, which is a GitOps tool. So you get the complete flow. You are, let's say, like Rajik told or Pratap, you might be a developer. You want to understand this DevOps. You will see all these real scenarios so that you can relate to your day-to-day tasks in your projects. That's why you went to DevOps project now. I mean, DevOps team, you're working with the DevOps team. You know what they were talking about, what is their cluster, how are they managing EKS, how are their pipelines, and we are building the pipelines here. The same thing. You can relate on daily basis. Same is the case with you are from infra background. You even this cluster management, all of these pipelines will help you. Even the backend infra automation, we will do it with Terraform. We'll manage that infra with Ansible, right? I mean, configuration management with Ansible, provisioning with Terraform. You can relate to those things, how you manage your infra and all. Even cluster creation, EKS cluster creation with will be created with Terraform, right? Those are all the real concepts which many projects are implementing. So they'll help you to clear your interviews as well. But yeah, see, as we progress, what I notice is people, whenever things get complex, definitely real-time scenarios will be complex. When things get complex, people think, okay, we shall do hands-on on this tomorrow or day after, postpone the things, pile up the things, and at certain times, you may have to give up because things goes pile up, you may not be able to handle it. So they will retake the batches. No, that's fine. At certain cases, it's unavoidable, but to whatever extent it's possible, I would suggest to do the regular hands-on, at least hands-on on the weekends. So such people who follow this definitely have switched their careers. I have people with multiple offers in hand as well. Like that would be people who put a complete dedication till the end. I want that kind of consistency from all of you. Yeah, any more questions?
Just last one question. You were discussing, right? You would be discussing about the challenges which are faced during the interviews. During the projects which you worked on. So it will be helpful for us, during the interviews to explain those challenges and, connect the dots if they, ask in depth.
Sure, definitely. Yes. These things will be covered.
Yeah, because we cover always happy flows, the commands, execution and all. We will also be doing the same happy flows. But when it comes to challenges, right, we will not be able to, I don't know what kind of challenges will be faced when I'm executing Docker or Kubernetes.
Sure, got it. Yeah. We'll keep this noted. Yeah, definitely. Like we'll be talking about interview questions. Like whenever we discuss a topic, we'll discuss like, okay, these are the interview questions. Yeah, discussing the challenges as a separate note will be helpful. Yeah, definitely.
Would you be touching Vagrant as well?
No, Manjunath, Vagrant will not be covered. See, those are the tools you have, of course, which can help you automate your VMs and all. But yeah, that will not be a part of this course. And that's not specific to DevOps as well, right? And
Yeah,
Ramana,
right.
yes, it's my profile. All right, then we can close here. Any further questions, you can reach out to us. And yeah, thank you all for joining. Thanks for spending your valuable time on your weekend. Hope the session will be helpful for you to reach your goals, reach your dreams. And yeah, thank you all. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Hello,
Thank
Preethi, once again.
Bye.
Preethi,
Yes.
any difference between the online classes and offline content, course content?
Okay, online classes and offline course content will be same. You will be shared with the previous batch recordings, right? So the content will be the same. Only thing is you will be directly talking,
Communication is
connecting with
communication.
me on daily basis. Yeah, and also in different classes, in some classes, like whenever we are fixing some scenarios, we may come across some errors. We may be fixing it. Those might be different. That comes in the flow, right? So that kind of difference will be there, but content will be the same.
And the lab support is not there in the offline class.
WhatsApp support will be there for that.
Okay. Any issue? Okay.
All right then. Thank you all.
Thank you.